The greatest power you possess is your ability to choose. Join Lowe's Moore as he reveals how you can begin to maximize that power by exploring yourself on the deepest levels and committing to making lasting and positive changes. Get ready to achieve breakthroughs that will lead to accelerated growth and transformation, because you are now tuned in to The Blueprint.
Why they actions contradict the lamb. I'm fellowshipping when I'm with the fam. That's more relations, that's foreign and foreign.
Good morning, and welcome back to the Blueprint Podcast. I'm your host, Lowe's Moore, and I'm excited to be back with you for another exciting Blueprint Podcast interview. Hey, look, the weather's changing, spring is here, but my guest this morning, right, on this Saturday morning podcast, man, the weather's always good where he is right now, and he's a very special guest. I'm looking forward to interviewing him this morning. I'm excited, right? I got some things I need to get through before I get to him real quick. Of course, let me say this just right off the bat. I'm doing this alone. I'm by myself. There's nobody here to help me. And usually my wife is here, but she's on a special task because my sister Tracy, there she is right there. That's actually from yesterday. They did it. She's now living. She used to live in Mount Vernon, but now she's living in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And she drove up to DC, Baltimore area to meet with her cousin, right, Angie, who she grew up with, and they were actually going to go to a spa for her 60th birthday, which is Monday. Right. So she was thinking like nobody's going to be there. It's just going to be her cousin Angie, and ended up that my wife, her best friend, her best friends all met her there. She didn't know it. Surprise for her 60th birthday party. A surprise birthday party with all the women. My mother went, my mother's two sisters, my aunt Joyce's best friend Crystal, she went, and they are now, last night they had dinner together, and this morning they're eating breakfast, and then they're going to the spa. So I want to say to my sister up front, Tracy, this is in advance. Happy 60th birthday. I can't believe it, man. I was looking at pictures the other day when we were little kids and we were stair steps. Like Tracy was sitting in front of us. Doug was sitting right behind him, who was right next to me. I'm the oldest. Then there's Doug. Then there's Kirk. But Kirk was a little bit bigger than everybody, right? And so he had to sit next to me in order to make the stair steps work. So it's Tracy, Doug, Kirk, and then me. I can't believe, man, that we were holding our little sister back then, man, and she's in her 60s. She's 60. She looks great for 60. Let me show you again. She looks great for 60, man. God has been good to her. God has been good to our family. I want to say again, happy 60th birthday. And then I want to, before I get started, I want to say that my oldest son, Lowe's the third, as you know, we've been announcing it. He's in the play. Ain't Too Proud, The Life and Time of the Temptations, right? He's going to be starting back next week, which is April the 23rd. He's going to be in Pueblo, Colorado, right? He's playing Eddie Kendricks in The Temptation, Ain't Too Proud. That's my oldest son, right? And he's going to be back on the road. That's going to be his first show, and he's going to be out for about 11 weeks back on the tour. He's done over 100 shows so far, and he's going to be back on the road next week. And so if he's in your area, go to Ain't Too Proud, The Life and Times of the Temptation, the tour schedule, and he might be coming to an area near you. So check him out. And then, coming next week I have Katrina Adams, right? She's the Harlem Junior Tennis Education Program Executive Director and President. She's a former professional tennis player, right? And I mean, she's on the Billie Jean King board, right? And doing some amazing work. She's going to be on the show next Sunday at 7 o'clock, April 27th. It's going to be a great time. All right. Now, everybody knows we're in, an extraordinary, this has been an extraordinary week, particularly historically, right? Because we're in Holy Week. And there's been, from Palm Sunday to Holy Monday to Holy Tuesday to Holy Wednesday. And of course, what we call Holy Thursday. And then yesterday was Good Friday. And then today is Black Sunday. It's Black Saturday. And then tomorrow is Easter, or what we call, there's Holy Thursday. And then what we call either He Has Risen, which is Resurrection Sunday, or celebrating Easter. They're both one and the same. But tomorrow we will be in the resurrection services tomorrow, and of course, what can I say about my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, right? What he's actually done for me is amazing. I've been with him for a long, long time, right? And my faith, I came to God. Of course, our parents, when we're young, our parents make us go to church, make us become aware of God. And then at 13, my mom said, look, I'm no longer going to pressure you, right, to go to church and do all these different things. At 13, she gave me that choice, the power of that choice. At 14, I didn't know that I was going to have an encounter with God. And I gave my life at 14 years old. And I'm now 67 years old, and I'm still love God. Right, I'm still in the relationship, right? It's just amazing. So celebrating Resurrection Sunday is powerful for me. The Holy Week is just amazing to me, and God has just been good to me. He's been good to my family, right? I mean, look, my relationship is strong. I love him. I love him more than I did when I accepted him at age 14. Because we've just had an amazing relationship between me and my family, right? So God bless you all out there, and hope you enjoyed this week. Hope you enjoyed celebrating Holy Thursday and what God has done for us. Hope you have an amazing Resurrection Sunday on tomorrow, and happy Easter as well. Again, it's Resurrection Sunday, and we're celebrating Easter. And then let me jump right into this, because I got my guest. My guest is a long way away, right? He's a long way away, and I got to get him on. And man, I'm appreciative of the time that he's actually taken to spend some time with me this morning. Not even being in the country, man. But I got to say this real quick. I want to say thank you to all my supporters of the Blueprint Podcast. Man, you guys are amazing. I want to say thank you to all those who support the Blueprint on Lowe's More the Blueprint on Facebook, Lowe's More the Blueprint on YouTube. And don't forget, if you don't have either one of those, we are streaming live on PNN, the Phoenix National Network, Roku, and we're also on Fire TV Stick as well. And I want to thank my man Philip Reed for the opportunity to be on his streaming network for the Blueprint Podcast, right? So again, let me get rolling here. I got to get to my book of the week. Check this out. This is my book of the week, right? Pujol, one of the amazing Albert Pujol, right, has a book out called Albert the Great. I don't know if you guys have read this or not. I'm a big fan of books, right? One of the main parts of the Blueprint Podcast is that I am combating illiteracy, right? And I'm promoting the most important thing, I think, in order to be successful at any level, in any sport, as an actor, as a lawyer, as a doctor, as a teacher. You must learn to read. Not only to read, but you must learn to comprehend what you read. And you must have the ability to write it down. I believe this is the key to everyone's success. If you're acting and you're in sports, you got to read your contract, right? And when it's over, you got to be able to do something about your life, right? So see if you get Albert the Great, man, Albert Pujols, and he just an amazing baseball player, right? Did some amazing things, and check out his book. And then here's my word of the week. The word of the week is culture, right? I'm hoping that my good friend, my guest today, man, we're gonna talk a little bit about culture, right? He gonna give us some definition of what culture is really all about, man. Matter of fact, the culture we're gonna talk about, man, I actually love, and I don't want to give it away, but anyway, we're gonna talk about culture during this podcast as well. And then affirmation, my Pierce Harper affirmation moment. It says, success in life has nothing to do with what you gain or accomplish for yourself. It's what you do for others, right? It's not about what you accomplish, what you do. The question when you leave this earth, the question is going to be, how many people did you help while you was here? How did you use your success to be beneficial to somebody else, right? How did you use your success to change somebody else's world and life, right? And so you may get, it's okay to be blessed, but it's required to be a blessing, right? So that's my favorite philosophy is I'm blessed to be a blessing. And if you go through this world only serving yourself, right, and not being a blessing to somebody else, you got a problem. All right. And so here's my music, right? Here's my music and movie. Radical Love, right? Radical Love is the first one by Corey. That's one of my favorite songs, man. It's called Radical Love. If you haven't heard it before, go to Bethel Church and pull up Reckless Love and listen to the lyrics of it. An amazing song, man. It keeps me grounded, man. And it's just a wonderful, amazing song God allowed him to write. And then the movie of the week is The King of Kings. If you got some kids and you're trying to get your kids to better understand the story of Jesus Christ, there's a new movie out called The King of Kings. It's kind of an animation movie. Make sure you check that out as well. And then, real quick here, look, my persons, it should say my persons, I don't know, but Zoe Saldana and Ricky Gonzalez, man, these are two amazing actors, right? And from the Dominican Republic, and in terms of culture, I was talking about earlier, great actors, right? And they're my persons of the week. All right, I think I've done a pretty good job, but I want to show you a few highlights of my guests for this evening, for this morning, this Saturday morning. Thank you guys for joining me. And again, I'm alone doing this, and I'm gonna give it my all. Right, my wife is again at a surprise birthday party for my sister, but I want you to check some of these highlights out, right, of my guest, and then I will introduce him in a few moments. But check this out.
Today, we're diving into
C5 con Bombo Abreu. Bombo, la cortó el Grillo, la llevó el Grillo. ¡Wow! ¡Wow! Five se tiró y falló el rebote para el Grillo. El Grillo abre en cancha. El Grillo.
13 segundos. José Vargas asediado. 9 en el tricómetro. El Grillo. El Grillo.
Nacional está arriba. Arriba el sabor nacional. Capre. Un nuevo con.
Jugar debajo del cristal el Grillo. Con el rebote. La saca, se la pasó a Carlos Martínez, que no es su equipo. Tira el falla, el rebote para el Grillo. El Grillo con ella. El Grillo ya cruza la media cancha. Se le pegó Orlando. Orlando contra el cristal. 300 quedando.
Presidente, la mejor cerveza del planeta. Víctor Hansen. Hansen buscando a Marshall. José Vargas. José, el Grillo. El Grillo. Tiene Steve Five. Five con Bombo Abreu. Bombo, la cortó el Grillo. La llevó el Grillo. ¡Wow! ¡Wow! El Grillo por Víctor Chacón. El Grillo, el Grillo, el Grillo.
One more.
Muñoz, a López abierto, frente a Piculín, falló, rebote para Vargas, canasto presidente.
La mejor cerveza, el verdadero sabor. Banco Popular, segura tradición de servicios Gapre, un nuevo concepto en ferretería. Espera las gitanas de Gitano, un regalo de Gitano. Tu sangría, presidente, la mejor cerveza, el verdadero sabor. Enviar y recibir un fax es más conveniente con las económicas tarifas de los centros de telecomunicaciones.
Let's welcome to the Blueprint Podcast, José Vargas. Man, I'll give you a little throwback there, man.
Yeah. Sure
Hey, let me say that I was watching those highlights. I was like, man, he got some skills. He got a little Magic Johnson in him, right? Bringing the ball down, dishing it, dunking it, turn around, shooting it. Wow, man. Oh, man. Awesome. Jose, welcome, man.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning. Thank you so much for having me in your Blueprint podcast. It's a pleasure to be with you. And before we go on, I want to wish your sister a very, very happy birthday. And yes, you're right. She looked really good. She was 60 years old. So a very happy birthday to her.
Oh, man. Thank you. Appreciate it, man. Man, and tell everybody where you are, man.
Well, Coach, as I told you, to me it's a really precious. I mean, I'm so happy, so excited to be with you on your Blueprint postcard. And I'm over here at the Dominican Republic, but not in the Dominican Republic. I'm on a very special place. I'm in the city of Banica, province, city of the province of Elia Pina. And this is right on the border. Right behind me, we have the river that divide. That is the river Rio Bonito, that divide the two countries, the two nations, Dominican Republic this side, and the other side is Haiti. I'm of a special reason that you were talking about is culture. To understand the culture and the way the Haitian people think, the way they behave, because we're having a big problem in one part of the country with the population from Haiti. And instead of judging and taking quick action, I came over here to try to understand what can it be done that to adjust, because over here at the border, at the last city of the nation, we don't have the same problem we have over there in the center of the country. So what make them behave one way here and another way over there? So that's what I'm trying to understand culturally, to try to find a peaceful solution and a better solution for both nations.
Right. Wow, man. I mean, I hold on. Let's see if I can raise this camera up, down a little bit here. Once you get this thing on here. All right. Yeah. I mean, as you travel back and forth between, all these countries, and particularly America, United States. And as you know, there are always, pockets regardless of city, there's always pockets where there are problems. and you ask yourself, why is there problems here and there are not problems over there, and how do we solve those problems, particularly in big cities? I mean, you of course you know New York City well, right? And you know that there are pockets all over New York City where there are a lot of problems, and then when you look at like California, you look at LA and you look at there's always pockets, and then you look at Chicago and Detroit, and you wonder like, wow, why is it like that? And maybe you have some answers. Why? I mean, what's your thoughts on what you think the problems are?
Well, right now I'm on the process of raising up, see what make them behave and differently over there. So I don't want to say right now, point, this is the problem. Because if I do that right now at this moment, coach, I will be, maybe I'm going a step ahead of many other process that need to be. Yesterday, I crossed the river and went into deep into the Haiti, and deep into the country, walking with some friend of mine. I asked the military people that were over there, and I asked the Haitian people on the other side, and it was all peaceful. They say, "Okay, go ahead, with no problem." So today I'm over here in the city, so I slept over here. I woke up right here. I'm gonna let you get a view of the place. It's a really a simple place. There are some people over there. There are the Haitian people over there, Dominican people all over the places you know. So what I'm doing is like I'm raising up and getting a better understanding of the way these people behave and what make them. Because over here at this border city, we don't have no problem with them. We don't have no, whatsoever. There is no problem whatsoever with them. Look how many people from Haiti. They come in, they buy their stuff over here, and they go back to their country, and they don't steal nothing over here. They don't do nothing against the law over here. And it's not the same thing that we have over there in Frisa, in Punta Cana, and La Romana, Higuera, and other places where I'm from. I'm from La Romana, actually. So since I travel the whole world, I read and speak and write today 7 different languages. And the most important thing is culture. Culture is what moves us, is what makes us behave one way or other way. Is what make one person see one thing yellow, and that yellow for us in the United States it means freedom. That color, that's culture. It's freedom. Yellow represents freedom, but for other people, it means caution. Culturally, other people around the world. So, it's I'm in the search of understanding culturally what made them behave one way here and differently in other place.
Right. So let's digress for a moment and let's talk about Jose, because one of a few things on the blueprint that we try to get, because people that are listening, there are going to be people who will listen to this today, and there are going to be people who will listen to this because this stays on the Facebook, Lowe's More the Blueprint, Facebook, Lowe's More the Blueprint, YouTube. It stays on there forever, so people can go on and watch it. So people may not see it today because it's the holidays, but I'll look up next week and I'll have 500-600 views, of it. So people continue to go to the blueprint to look at it, and it's the name is appropriate for what we're talking about today. What is the blueprint for how we address the problems that we have from one in New York, from one city to another city, or here in where I'm at in Westchester, from one local place to another local place, right? And I think we all want peace, right? And we all want equality, and we all want to get along and get together, and that's really what culture is about. When you look at your culture, me being from the South, born in North Carolina, being from the South, and migrating to New York City, and now have a family in New York, right, and have family members that are all over North Carolina and all of these different places, and so what's important to me, and I think is important, there are a couple of things that hinder community, that hinder family, right? And that's poverty,
Exactly.
right? Yeah, and so poverty is crazy, but when you talked about earlier, when culture gets together, when when it unifies, right? We can go beyond all odds, all things that. But talk a little bit about your family growing up. Mom, dad, siblings. And how ultimately maybe you use the vehicle, like sports. We all find our niche. Some find it in singing, some find it in dancing, some find it in writing, some find it in teaching. We all find our niche to help us move forward. So talk a little bit about the importance of family, faith, and education as you grew up.
Oh wow. And faith in God is the most important thing to me for any human being. Your faith. It is what keeps us moving every day. It is what keeps us get up every day, go to a study, work harder, and try it again and again to achieve whatever goal each one of us have. Is very important. I to talk a little bit about me. I only have one sister, and I didn't get to meet my father. My mom raised both of us all by herself, working as a maid over there in the United States. My mom been in the United States for the past 50 years, 45 years, and she lives today in New Jersey. And I have my opportunity. I saw my opportunity in sport. And I was at my young age as a kid. I always did study a whole lot, but I always play a sport, baseball. Being a Dominican, of course, every Dominican kid, the first thing, the first present they get is a baseball bat and a glove, baseball glove. Every Dominican kid. So I did play a little baseball. I was a pitcher. Then I went to other sport, many other sports, between them basketball. I end up uh, falling in love with basketball, falling in love with basketball, and basketball have been the tool that I have used to grow up, educate myself, and to keep on going in the world. As you know, I went to school to LSU in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. My great friend, Coach Dale Brown, still is my friend and a dear friend, a father figure to me till today. I have a great respect for that man because with that man, I learned not to stand for injustice. Whatever they are, you have no matter to who, an injustice to any human being, to any being, no matter what it is an injustice. And you have to at least speak against it. And when you haven't, you mean and you will do something against it. So basketball gave me the opportunity, and many people say luck or chance to go all over the world. I was drafted by the Dallas Mavericks, but I have a great team of agents. At the time, my agent was Mr. Herb Rudoy, and our team decided that to me, at that time, it was not the best opportunity or the it wasn't the best for me at the time to go to the Dallas Mavericks team because Dallas have a strong team and have many players playing the same position that I was. One of them was the best sixth man of the whole league, and he was a sixth man on the team. It was Roy Tarpley, and they have Donaldson, and they have that 1988 team. They have a strong team on the power forward situation. So I made the decision. We made the decision to try my career in Europe, and I did really good over there. So I stayed over in Europe for my first 3 years, and then after that, it was history. I didn't want to go back to the NBA. They offered me some opportunity and come try out this camp, come try this. You know how it goes. But I was comfortable, secure, and doing well in Europe, so I prefer to stay in Europe. After Italy, I went to France, Spain, and came back to Italy. Went to play in Israel, where I have a really good relationship with the people over there in Israel. And you know, Israel is a country that for us that are Christian, it have a great meaning. It means a lot, the land of Israel for all of us Christians. And going to Israel, you know, I went into searching a lot of stuff that we saw only in the Bible and that were preached to us, told to us. So I went on into seeing those historical places that are religious historical places over there in Israel, and that was a great experience to me. I ended up playing all over South America. Also, I ended up playing in Brazil, where I reside till today. I live in Brazil, in the state of São Paulo, in the city of Franca, and that's where I live. And that's all basketball who gave me all that. So growing up over here in the Dominican Republic, I grew up in a very poor family, and we have to work really hard for everything that we get. I started working since the I was 10 years old. I was already working, and that was my life. You know, that's what I can say. I have the opportunity to participate in many, many, many great teams, starting since the junior national team in the Dominican Republic, going through the national team from the Dominican Republic, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, to my whole professional career. I have great coaches and great teammates that knew how to work the team purposes, you know, that were always team oriented. We didn't have that self oriented player that we see today in many, many, many organizations that have the opportunity and the luck to have most team oriented players. So I have a great career. I'm so thankful to all my coaches and teammates that share with me that career. So it was really great. Just to give you a quick uh, brush out over my past, my starting day.
Right. And go over with me with in terms of the transition, for you. I mean, you're in the Dominican Republic, right? And now, you're trying to, make. How do you get to LSU from the Dominican Republic? I mean, talk a little bit about that. As
We have one friend in common that always thought about basketball as a good tool. Is or Hall of Famer Tiny Nate Archibald.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Tiny.
my idol.
Yeah, Tiny. He had a player that played over here, a Dominican player that lived in New York, that he took Coach Ed Gomez at the time and used to play in the playground over there with Coach Gomez in New York. And Coach Gomez have a good relationship with Tiny. And Tiny showed Ed Gomez some stuff and told Ed Gomez, whatever you think I'm doing for you, you do it for somebody else. You help somebody else. Because Coach said that Tiny always help him on his shooting, his dribbling, and how he see the game and practicing, working really hard at the playground over there in New York. So when Coach Gomez came over here to play in the Dominican Republic, he right away came looking for kids to help pick kids to play basketball. And he started looking at the La Romana, my hometown, looking for the big kids. found me, he right away told me, okay, if you come with me, come practice, and you practice. I already was practicing basketball. If you take it seriously, you will do whatever is your dream on life, whatever your dream to life. So after that, a year after I started practicing with Coach Gomez in my hometown, I moved to the capital city town, Santo Domingo, to play for Club Naco, where Coach Gomez was a member of that club also. And then I went to study. Couple of years after that, Coach Gomez came to me and say, "Hey, Jose, uh, get prepared, start learning English because 2 years from here, uh, coaches and school from the United States are going to come here trying to recruit you. You're going to the United States to go to school over there." I was like, "Hey, coach, I don't have the mean, I don't have the money to learn." Well, if you want to keep on in your career as a basketball and you want to have the opportunity, as you say, to study in the United States, here is your chance. You need to learn English. That was on my sophomore year in high school. So there he came, and I didn't know how to go by with the English situation because I didn't have the money to pay the school. So I bought an English dictionary. So I learned English with that dictionary, Spanish English dictionary. So I learned English through the dictionaries, and I self-taught. I went to school. 2 years later on, Greg Cook came to play to the Dominican Republic. He was an LSU alumni player, came out of LSU, and he saw me playing. He said, "Hey, coach, you have to come to the Dominican Republic." He called Coach Brown. Say, "You have to come see this kid play." So Coach Brown and Ron Abernathy flew to the Dominican Republic, and they went to see me playing. And that was one of those games where I was dunking and jumping all over the place, dribbling and turning around, shooting jump hook, and doing all my stuff. And they were like, "Wow, this kid is amazing." So they recruited me, and I resolved to go to LSU. That's how I end up going to LSU.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And then you taught yourself English,
Yes.
right? And then now you taught yourself, now you don't know 7 languages. I mean,
Seven-
talk about that, how that happens.
That's important. The young kids today, young kids going into sport, and many young kids go to the NBA, others go to Europe. We need to be advised, and they are good people. We need to be advised about life, about what is expected, because we don't have no idea, coach. You know, you were a ball player also. You went into the pro. We don't have no idea. Once we come to high school, go through college, and what is out there waiting for us. It's not as simple as we see it. We see it really simple. We say we are having fun. We are having fun playing a ball game, but we need to be advised and coached through the game of life. So I have the luck and the great opportunity to be advised by her Rudoy about many life situations. And when we decided for me to go to Europe, to Italy, he said, "Jose, you used to study. And over there in Italy, they don't play as many games as you would play in the NBA. So you will have a lot of spare time. So for you not to get bored over there, we're going to put this little thing in your contract that the club have the obligation to either put you in the Italian school where you will learn the language so you get inserted, you understand the society where you're going to live, or they're going to send a tutor to your home and your time, whatever, whichever is best for you, they will do it. And this is why we did it. My first year when I went to Italy, so I learned Italy. I stayed my first 3 years in Italy. I learned Italian. So a year after that, I was like, "Hey, I already know Italian." So I went to a German school over there in Italy. So I went to the German school. And it was really good because I started learning other languages. And it was good for me because I understood what the Italian people were saying.
Right.
So after that, I decided to go 3 years after that, I decided to go to France. So we put the stuff I learned in French. So here I go. I have French now. I have Italian, I have German, English, and Spanish on my head. Few years after that, I started to go to Israel. So we did the same stuff again. We do the same thing in the contract. We're going to do this, that. So I have Hebrew also. So then I go to Brazil, where I live now, for the past 30 years. And we have the same stuff in the contract. And then I got Portuguese also. So now when I was closing my career over there in Brazil, and I came back home, but I opened my bag again, I'm unpacking, I was like, wow, there's something left over here that I didn't take with me, the 7 languages. So it was great. And it's really important to speak the language of the country for you to understand what is going on, and for you to understand the culture, for you to understand the way people think, for you to understand the way people act, the way they behave, what they do, for you to understand everything. So that's the importance of it. So it is really good.
Yeah, and I think that although I don't know any languages other than English. I mean, but what you're saying is very important and very powerful, because you have to, when you talk about culture, right? And you know this in the United States, coming over here from the Dominican Republic, right? You have to learn culture. I mean, you have to, because being at LSU, there's a lot of different cultures.
Completely different from New York, from LA. Yeah.
Yeah, and so like I went to, of course, I went to school at Mount Vernon High School in Westchester, New York, and then I get a full scholarship to West Virginia, right? So now I'm in West Virginia. I knew the culture. I knew being in Mount Vernon. I learned a lot. That was the one thing about Mount Vernon. Mount Vernon specifically today has 99 different cultures in Mount Vernon. Now I don't know none of their languages, right? And 99 different ethnic groups in the city of Mount Vernon, 4.2 square miles, right? So I grew up in the Boys and Girls Club, or at that time was the Boys Club, right? And so inside the Boys and Girls Club is where I learned a lot about culture, right? And because a lot of my friends were Jewish, a lot of my friends were Italian, right? And you're in there playing in the game room, doing your homework in the homework room, going down to the gym and playing all the different program sports, right? You integrate with so many different people, right? And not all the people are the same. We can perceive, like, you can look at one experience of a black person and we say that's the way black people are, right? And that's we've been, that's how people view us. They say, oh, they see one on television, they see one sect of a negative part of the black culture, or the African American culture, or the African culture, and then they'll say, yeah, that's the way they are, right? And I'll tell you a quick experience. So when I first got to West Virginia, and I was taking a class, geology. I was in the geology class, and there was a lot of people in there, about 200 people in the class. So I'm looking around, and a young lady sits about 2 rows from me, and blonde hair, blue eyes, and she turns around, she looks at me, and I say hello, and I say hello to everybody around me, right? So later on in the afternoon, after the first class, I go back to the dorm. I get in the elevator. I see the same young lady I looked at. She seen me. I said hello. When I get on the elevator to go downstairs, she's in the elevator, right? So now she grabs a pocketbook, right? And I'm like thinking, like, well, what? I just smiled because I'm not gonna take your pocketbook, right? But the thing is, some years later, she became a cheerleader, right? And so we were in the conference championship, in Pittsburgh, and she's a cheerleader, and we're communicating to each other. You know, now she's talking to me. I said, "May I ask you a question?" A few years back, right? A few years back, when we were freshmen, right? You were in the elevator, I got in the elevator, and you grabbed your pocketbook.
Yeah.
I said, "What was that about?" She said, "Oh, my mom and dad, told me to watch out for black guys."
Guys, exactly.
Right. So sometimes, the culture will read something into a culture that's negative and assume that everybody's negative. Right. The whole culture is negative.
Not in the culture, coach. They see one individual that's black doing something wrong, negative. They assume everybody black do something negative, and that will be wrong. And that is wrong. And the understanding, that's one of the things, unfortunately, the United States, man, the United States have done a great thing for the whole world. But unfortunately, for the people in the United States, this country have not done enough. When I mean have not done enough, the United States, the population, the whole population speak only English. You go around the whole world, every country, you find anybody over here in the Dominican Republic speaking English, speaking French, Italian, German. And it's not, if you go to China, I was in China, they have people that will translate for you, I mean, whatever language. You can call to the city hall, any city, whatever, okay, and they will translate for you. So I will not have the same situation over there in the United States. So the people of the United States have lagged behind of the understanding of the rest of the world. After Second World War II, and the country of the United States have been the protection of the whole world, whole Europe, and it been really good. But they have advanced the people over those countries way more than the people in the United States. So we have to play catch up today.
Right.
And that catch up, it should start on languages, because language gives you a better understanding of many situations culturally that drive people to do what they do, to behave the way they behave, and that to us in the United States, it will be something with nonsense. Like, hey man, what people do this, but it's cultural, it's what build them, that make them behave like that, So we need to understand that, to understand trade, understand, especially today on the globalized world, that you're gonna get a car made in the United States, but that car have pieces that were made all around the world, and you're gonna buy something in the United States that was crop that was raised in another country, etc., etc. So I think it would start. The whole thing would be on languages.
Yeah. That's a. Thanks for dropping that. I say this every week, man. When I hear something, my grandfather used to say, "Come here, boy." When I was little, he said, "Come here, boy. I'm gonna give you a nugget." And I'm looking at his hand like he had something, like he had a nugget in his hand, right? And really, what he wanted to do was give me some wisdom. He wanted to give me some advice. So that's very powerful. What you were saying about starting with language, because in the United States, we had opportunity. I don't think we took advantage of it. We had opportunity to. You had to take a language at one time, right? The problem with taking the language, like I passed my Spanish, my Spanish class, but when you're not practicing it, right, and you don't carry it on, and you don't do it consistently, right, then you lose it, because you had the opportunity to learn French, Italian, right? And they weren't expressing, like, one day you're gonna, there's a big world out there. There are other countries, And many people that are in America, come from, their families come from different cultures, from different countries. They come from Italy, they come from Poland, they come from Germany, they come from all over. And you may have the opportunity to go there someday, but you won't know the language.
Exactly.
And sometimes I took a couple of things. I took Spanish, and then when I was in college, I took a class in Japanese. And I was surprised because my oldest son, I was talking about earlier, who's performing in traveling the country, performing in Broadway, national Broadway play, Ain't Too Proud. We sent him to another school. He went to another school other than in Mount Vernon at the time. And what I learned, because Mount Vernon he wanted to get into the singing, the acting, all this stuff. And Mount Vernon had canceled their programs. And so he went to another private school over in Rye. And when he got there, they were talking to him about, well, what are you interested in? And they said, yeah, because we have this, and then we have Mandarin. And he said, oh man, I've been interested in Mandarin. Right. So, and I was like, Mandarin, I was thinking like, what is Mandarin? I'm used to it saying like, okay, Chinese.
Yeah.
Right. Right. I'm thinking about some fruit, mandarins, so they looking at me like I'm crazy. But he said, yeah, that's Chinese, Mandarin. And my son was so excited. I mean, by the time he graduated, he was fluent in Mandarin.
That's great.
And then I always thought when he went to college that he was going to end up in China, doing a study over in China. But he ended up in Africa. Mm-hmm. He spent 6 months over there in Africa, and he learned the language, over in Africa. He even sung in the language, right? So what you say about language, right, and helping us become more literate, right, is to learn more languages. Exactly. And to not only, you should always value who you are, because it's important in history to know who you are, right? But it's also important to know who others are as well, right? And that's how we learn to get along, because, through my presence and probably your presence at LSU, my presence at West Virginia, they realized that when you look at the African American culture through your experience with Lowe's or your experience with Jose, man, culture is different.
Exactly.
you know what I'm saying? And yes, there's some people who are making wrong choices and decisions in your culture that impact you, but you got to dismiss that. You can dismiss what people think by how you act. Yeah. So,
something about your son, Coach. You're saying he's in a great position speaking Mandarin to help the American people, because on trade-wise, one of the biggest problems that the United States is having today is China. So he will be able to help on business-wise, because he can go to China, understand the way they think, the way they behave, the way they do business, the way life influences them over there, and use that to the advantage of the United States to be able to deal with the Chinese people, So it is very important, the language situation, the cultural situation, because it will affect your understanding in all other area of life, business, political, and any other religious and everything, understanding the language.
Yeah. And we met a few not too long ago. I do appreciate you. I did a player development for coaches and players, and our man Hugo brought us up. Hugo's always got something going on, and he brought you guys to the gym, and I met you guys for the first time, man. I want to say thank you for stopping by the development program, the development clinic, and being so nice to speak to the kids that were there. And so talk a little bit about, when we talk about the Dominican culture, right, and we talk about Dominican people, right, and what do you represent in terms of the Dominican Republic? What are you representing now? What are you doing for them now?
Well, now I strongly believe we have to work with our young people, with our youth. We have to show them the way. We have to pave the way. We have to take them by hand and walk that path with them and tell them, hey, this is the way you should go. We cannot let them and turn them loose to the school, to the teacher, to the system. We have to do it ourselves. And that's why it was so important for me to go to your camp and talk to those kids, because we have to show them, we that did it, we know what's back there. We have to show them, we have to pave them. So to me right now, what I'm doing with the Dominican Republic, I'm helping them over there in New York. I'm as a counsel for sport, all the sport for the Dominican community. So for the kids, especially the kids, over there in New York, we have over 1 million Dominican living over there. It's the largest community, a foreign community that we have in the United States is the Dominican people. We have over a million people over there in New York. So to us, Dominican people, that community is important to work with the youth people, with the young people, to put them in sport, to have programs that help those kids to, once they get out of school, to go to practice basketball, volleyball, soccer, American football, baseball, whatever sport, dance, swimming, that is very important, and to insert them the right way into the American society, because we Dominican people, we really appreciate the opportunity the United States have given us, to insert ourselves into the American society and to be able to live part of what we call the American dream. The American dream is what the whole world is dreaming today. There is no one human being in the world that doesn't want to live the American dream, you know.
Right.
So that's what I'm doing with the Dominican Republic today, and I'm helping the government and whatever. And I do that, I come to this city, to the border of the country, to understand, the root of the problem, to understand what is really generating the problem over here. So that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, and a lot of times people will say sports, basketball, football, yeah, but one of the, you talk about language, right, and you talk about culture. One thing about sports, it's universal, right? We will stop wars to have the Olympics so that we can compete in the Olympics. I mean, and all the countries come together, regardless of language and so forth and so on, to come together to compete, to have competition. And in the experience, you end up learning about people and culture and different things. Like Jesse Owens, when in Berlin, one of his best friends was a guy he competed against. Right, in Germany, they became great friends, right? And so, hey man, think about one of my best friends. He passed away, may he rest in peace. My point guard, right? We didn't know each other. He's a white guy from Pittsburgh. He meets me at West Virginia. We're teammates together. Man, he was in my wedding. I mean, that's how powerful sports is. Right. And so people and then some sports will help to guide you, calm you down, help guide you, and do something that you weren't interested in doing. Like for me, you know, if it wasn't for sports, you know, I don't know how well I would excel in academics if it wasn't for the sport, right? If you know, like singing in the choir, you know, doing wood shop, right? Auto mechanics. You know, some people find their different niches, right? And it causes for them to, you know, gravitate towards the education process and end up graduating, end up going to college, right? So sometimes many sports will lead people to education, not away from education.
Coach, I would say more. I would say much more. That sport in the world today is part of what I mean is the American dream, because the United States of America made the sport industry what it is today. So you, me, we have all opportunity in life to a sport because we come from very poor family. They didn't have the means to pay a college education for me. They didn't have the way to pay any kind of education. So instead of being one more kid in the project or lost over there, sport gave us those opportunities. And you know, Coach Brown used to say it a lot to me. Jose, opportunities, opportunities come on a train, and that train is full of wagons in the back, but they have one machine that is pushing it in the front. And you have to be able to recognize which one of the wagon is your opportunity and jump on it while it is still running. Because otherwise you will miss it, you miss it. Because opportunities, they keep passing by. Many different opportunities, you know. Maybe if it wouldn't be in sport, it would be in business. Maybe it would have been somewhere. It would have been in the military. You know, the military gave all people, black people, a lot of opportunity also to serve the country, to educate themselves, and to grow in life. So opportunity is a train full of wagon back there. You have to recognize which one is yours and jump on it while it's still running. So sport gave us that opportunity, and it's still giving that same opportunity to many people all around the world. Look, baseball. How many foreigners, how many Dominican we have playing Major League Baseball in many different cities over there in the league? How many players the NBA have from all over the world doing well, playing a great basketball game? You know, that all American fan love. So sport generate, give us kids for all over the world that opportunity to excel, to go to a higher level, to grow not only personally as a professional baseball or basketball player or in any other sport modality, but also to grow as a human being, as person, to educate ourselves, to understand society, and most of all, to be able to give a contribution back to society from what we became ourselves. What you're doing today, you know, you are a preacher. There is a lot of kids that look up to you. You were a basketball player, no longer a basketball player, but you're still working hard. You're still contributing. You're still giving back to society some of what society gave you. So that's what I just ask. Hey God, thank you so much for everything you have given me, for everything you have done for me and my life. Please today give me the opportunity to give back to society some of so much you have given me. That's
Yeah.
what we're doing today.
Yeah, yeah. And we need us more than ever today. You know, because you know there are a lot of people out there for the wrong reasons and saying the wrong things. You know, I don't have, you know, look, I'm not trying to take something from somebody. I'm not trying to be somebody's agent. You know, I'm not trying to get money from
God,
you. You know,
That that
for
that's the
years, I have trained people, I have counseled people, right, and not asked for one dime, right,
exact
because somebody did it for me, right,
exactly.
and it's tough for athletes today, you know, to have some talents because then they get those people that latch on to them
Uh
for
huh.
the wrong reasons,
Uh huh. Uh huh.
right,
Not the wrong
and
reason. Not the wrong reason. I wouldn't say the wrong reason, but with a financial purpose. They will look at them kid. They don't look at them as persons that need to be guided throughout a whole lifetime period. They look at them kid like an opportunity to make a dollar today, and that's all I'm interested on. That's why you and me, people like us, are so important because I know you are not trying to represent to be an agent of the kid, to be a worth manager for a NBA player. I'm not trying to be. We just want to guide those kids, you know, because by guiding them is the only way we will make sure that tomorrow society, when we're no longer here, we have somebody that will guide somebody else. You
that's
know,
right,
that's the
yeah,
only way.
yeah,
By
because if you're a business person, right, if your gifting is in the business realm, you got to look around and find those individuals. Well, even if they playing a sport and acting or whatever it is, they still need business guidance,
exactly,
right?
exactly.
So, but you're guiding them for the right reasons, you
Hmm.
know. And if you're in dance, if you're a professional dancer or actor, you know, a lot of these young people need your guidance. You know, I always say, you know, my responsibility was that there were a lot of pitfalls
Hmm.
when it comes to sports. We just look at, man, success and winning games, right?
Hmm.
And we're looking at success and winning games, but you know, if I can help somebody avoid some of the obstacles that I fell in, right? Whether they be in terms of the playing of the basketball, making wrong decisions, or the social life, right? Or the mistakes that I made academically, if I
Hmm.
can help guide somebody, you know, when a young freshman comes in, yes, we're competing, but man, I got to be able to tell you, man, that look, you hanging out all night because you're free at the at West Virginia University, and you
Hmm.
hanging out and drinking with your boys and stuff like that. That at the end of the day, man, I've been at this for 3 years, you know, or 4 years. Man, don't do that. You're gonna end up flunking out of school, not being successful, and missing your dream.
Like many others that are there, many others that are there. I would say even more. I wouldn't say to only avoid the obstacle that I fall into it. I would say to help them and to make them able to recognize and see, hey, that's a booty trap. To hang out all night and dance all night and do this, do that, that's a trap because my objective is is not doesn't go through that path. My objective is a whole different path. That's a booty trap. To recognize those paths, those bad holes. That's what we need to work on young kids to say, hey, I need to get myself advised by this kind of people. Okay, the toughest thing to do and to make them understand what my grandfather used to say to me. As I told you, I didn't get to meet my father. My father passed away before I was born, and my grandfather is the one who raised me. He said to me, he always called me Sam. He always said to me, hey, Sam, remember one thing in life. What easy comes, easy goes. That lasts for a lifetime with you are the things that you really work really hard for them because you will take care. You will surely take care of those things. You work so hard for them that you will take care of them. So we need to make them kids understand that nothing comes easy. You know, everything that will come to them is through a lot of work and it's through a lot of dedication. Okay, we see Michael Jordan, we see even LeBron James today, we see Stephen Curry, but nobody. I haven't seen men. I mean, very little stuff I seen talking about the how many hours Michael Jordan actually leave the gym live there. He get up, wake up, and go to practice, go to sleep, go to the gym. go to left weight, go to practice his free throw shooting, go to practice 3-point shooting, go to, man, so many hours he put into it to be the greatest. How LeBron James take care of his body, how he work out his body. He have his personal trainer to work out. So, we need to make this young kid understand it's not all the flash, but you have to put the work to get the flash also.
That's
You have
right.
to put the work in. If you want to get the flash, yeah, it's good to get the flash, and there is a price to pay for that flash also. You know, Tell me how many times LeBron would have liked to be, hanging out with his body, with his family, but he gotta go. Hey, I gotta go rest. I gotta get my rest because I have a tough game tomorrow. I have a playoff game. So, it's a holiday. It's Christmas Eve, but I have to go play because I have 18,000, 20,000 people that are going to the to see me. I cannot sit and drink and eat everything and with all my family, the night before Christmas, the supper night, and do those are sacrifices that also those kids need to understand that need to be made. You know,
Right.
so it's not all grizzles and bubbles. There are sacrifices that need to be made also. So those kids they need to be told and taught to be prepared to make those sacrifices when they come on.
Yeah, and that's for anything.
Like
You,
for
when
any
you if you say you want to be something, I
exactly.
want to be a business person. That's why, as the executive director for the Boys and Girls Club, of Mount Vernon for 27 years, right? One of the questions during the summertime, because people assume we learn, right, during the season, right?
Hmm.
We don't learn during the season. We learn in the off season. We don't learn. We learn a little during the educational season, but when the summertime comes, the question is, what are you going to do during that summertime,
Yeah,
right? And so when kids used to come in to be counselors for the summer program, and I used to ask the kid, what is it that you want to be when you grow up? Kids give you all kind of answers. And
hmm,
especially, you want to say it every year that they come to the club, because when they get to middle school, now you got to act on it, right? And some people say they want to be a teacher, right? And then after they're a counselor, they in the summer program, they like, and the kids don't listen to them. Then all of a sudden they don't want to be a teacher anymore.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, I used to tell them in middle school and high school, man, you got to
yeah,
do internship. You say you want to be a lawyer. Okay, during the summertime, go intern or go volunteer in a law firm, a law
that,
office,
that,
right? Yeah, go there and experience and see whether or
very,
not you're gonna fall in love with it. Cause you
yeah,
gotta fall in love with the thing you want to do, right? You can't just say I want to be a doctor because you make money or you see the nice houses and cars, right? You got to know the hours that you got to put in order to be that doctor.
exactly.
Yeah, so
You
yeah,
know,
I'm with you 100%.
I usually say, okay, it's easy for you as a young kid, 18, 20 years old, to fall in love with another young lady, 18, 20 years old. But love doesn't mean the beauty. Love means to understand that you're going to be with that lady when she's 80, 60, and you are 80, 60 plus, and you don't have the same physical beauty, but that's going to be one you're going to want to have by your side. That's true love. That's what make them young kids understand that also, you know.
Oh
So,
yeah, yeah.
and
So
that's a plain life that we need to make all kids understand. Coach, we have through sport, through many other situations in life, we have a great tool to recover a good part of all society. And I would say of all class. When I say all class, I'm talking about Dominican people. I'm talking about black kids over there in the project. I'm talking about kids that don't have the same opportunity of other families. And through sport, we can get it done because sport give us tools to do that. Give us the discipline. The first thing is the discipline to do something. And the sport, the first thing it demands is the discipline to train and to work with other human beings.
yeah, and that way when you're little, I didn't understand it when I was in it as a little kid. As I got older, I understood it. You had to participate in every activity program in the boys club. You're in the game room, you're in the wood shop, you know, you're in the gym. You had to participate. Even if you weren't good, you had to participate because there was something about the act of doing it.
Exactly.
Right. And the silent code of ethics that went with it. You know, how to be courteous, how to be kind, how to be in competition, but not come out hating people. Right. You had to learn how to lose and you had to learn how to win, whether you were playing a board game or you were playing in the gym doing wiffle ball.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, and it's something that those recreational sports activities teach you, right? That sometimes you got to work through, right? And sometimes you realize I do not have the talent to do this. I mean, I need to think about something else. And that's why when you look at when they call money earning Mount Vernon, right? When you look at how it all started, you know, you're looking at sports. You know, when the basketball, Gus Williams and Ray Williams and Earl Tatum and Rudy Hackett and all those guys was playing sports, right? What happened around Mount Vernon was like when Heavy D came out with the song Money Earning Mount Vernon, most of the people realized I ain't gonna be a baller. Right? And then, you know, next thing you know, they started rapping. You know, then people became actors. You know, then next thing you know, people became mayors. And then they became doctors and they became lawyers because not everybody gonna play sports. But you gotta find your niche. But you need, like you said, the things that we are in those programs to learn is the discipline.
Exactly.
The structure, how to work hard, you know, how to not give up, you know. So, man, it's awesome. But, you know, what I appreciate, Jose, was, you know, particularly now that it's getting warm in New York, right? And I've been into the Dominican Republic. I think I'm married, like, going to be 42 years in August. But on one of my anniversaries, I was in Punta Cana. Yeah. I was at the Hard Rock. I've been to Punta Cana twice. I've been over to the Dominican Republic. I loved it. You know, I wanted to see more of the real country than the resort. Right. But there was one thing I always learned, particularly during the summertime and events, you know, was in terms of the Dominican culture and the people, was, man, how they enjoyed life, right? And some of the things I always enjoyed about the Dominican culture is, you know.
Sorry, I have a friend of mine over here who came to say hello to me. He came to pick me up. We were supposed to leave at 10 o'clock. He came to pick me up. He's from the military people that take care of the border over here. And he just say hello and came to pick me up. Just to include. Okay.
So yeah, you can, you know, if you want it, we can, you know, shut down and I can finish up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because I told him at 10 o'clock to come. Was going to be on the program from 9 to 10. They already came. They are waiting for me. So,
all right. So, Jose, thank you. I appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you when you get back here, and I look forward to working with you.
Yes, Coach. We're going to be doing some work, and I really appreciate your promptness to say, okay, I'm ready to work for the Dominican community. And as I told you, we're working on we're going to have a talk with kids from the project, Dominican kids over there in Lawrence, Massachusetts. You know, Lawrence, 80% of the population over there, they are Dominican. So, like I told you, whatever I can do, I'm just helping the Dominican people wherever they are, you know, helping their kids and helping their family to think that life, yes, it's not, but we can make it much better and livable and enjoyable to live.
All right. Well, hey, stay safe, enjoy yourself, and send some of that warm weather back here to New York.
Yeah. The cold weather is about to get going.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Take care now.
Take care.
Wow, that's my man Jose Vargas. He's a Hall of Famer in the Dominican world of basketball, and just as great a player as he was, he's even a better human being. And we were talking about the Dominican culture, and what I admire is, of course, the food, that you have in the Dominican Republic. Of course, I've been over there twice and enjoyed myself tremendously. And the weather is amazing, and the beaches, and and I met a lot of nice people. And then you can't forget about the culture, the culture of music in the Dominican Republic. The colors. I mean, the festivals. You see it over here because they're you either have the Puerto Rican parade, the Dominican parade, festivals that are going on. But when you look at the Dominican culture, you're looking at music and food and sports. I mean, it's just an awesome experience, man. I love the culture. I love the excitement and the families, that get together in regards to the culture of the Dominican culture. And yeah, it's just awesome. And earlier we talked about, the sports, and when you look at the Major League Baseball, man, I don't know what the percentages are, but you got a lot of Dominican players that are playing for the Major League Baseball today. Man, they must have a training system, a farm system that is not like no other. I mean, they're developing great baseball players. And now we're seeing not only the great baseball players, we saw a few in the past, man. When you look at Sammy Sosa and all those great players that came up that we watched over the years, all those great baseball players. And then now you're seeing the influx of so many great basketball players, and Anthony Townsend. I mean, it's just so many great players now coming in from different cultures in the Dominican Republic, and women now. You're seeing influx of women coming into the college area, into the WNBA, and you're seeing so many of these great players using sports and coming to America doing some amazing things. I'm looking forward to Jose. We're going to do some things in the Dominican community here in New York, as you heard him say, right? As you heard him say, they're over in New York City, in New York alone, there's over 1 million Dominicans, right? And, some amazing people, amazing athletes, enjoy life, enjoy celebrating life, and very powerful. I'm going to give you a couple of, videos. I'm going to show you a couple of videos of, before I get off here. I got a few minutes here, but I want to show you in regards to the Dominican culture, right? Check this out real quick, and then I'll sign off.
Today, we're diving into the vibrant and rich history of the Dominican Republic and exploring its incredible culture. From its indigenous roots to its modern-day influences, this Caribbean gem has a story full of color, rhythm, and resilience. So, let's get started. The Dominican Republic is located on the eastern two-thirds of the island of Hispaniola, which it shares with Haiti. This beautiful country is known for its stunning beaches, lively music, and delicious food, but its history is equally fascinating. The island was originally inhabited by the Taino people, an indigenous group with a rich culture and social structure. They were known for their agricultural skills, vibrant ceremonies, and intricate art. In 1492, Christopher Columbus arrived in the Caribbean and made landfall in the Dominican Republic, marking the beginning of European influence on the island. The Spanish established the first permanent European settlement in the New World, Santo Domingo, which still stands as the oldest continuously inhabited European settlement in the Americas. Santo Domingo's Zona Colonial, or Colonial Zone, is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and home to incredible historical landmarks like the first cathedral in the Americas and the Alcázar de Colón, the residence of Christopher Columbus's son. This area is a treasure trove of the early colonial era. Fast forward to the 19th century, and the Dominican Republic experienced a series of struggles and triumphs, including periods of Haitian occupation, Spanish restoration, and eventual independence in 1844. This rich history of struggle and perseverance has deeply influenced Dominican culture. Speaking of culture, let's talk about what makes Dominican culture so unique and vibrant. Music and dance are the heartbeat of Dominican culture. Merengue and bachata are two of the most popular music genres here. Merengue, with its fast-paced rhythm and lively beats, is often performed at festivals and celebrations. Bachata, known for its more romantic and soulful tones, originated in the rural areas and has become a global sensation. You can't talk about Dominican culture without mentioning the food. Let's dive into some traditional dishes. Dominican cuisine is a delightful mix of indigenous, African, and Spanish influences. Popular dishes include mongu, a delicious plantain mash, sancocho, a hearty meat and vegetable stew, and tostones, twice-fried plantain slices that are perfect for snacking. And let's not forget about the lively celebrations and festivals. From the Carnival in La Viga to the Festival of Merengue in Santo Domingo, these events are a showcase of Dominican pride, joy, and community spirit. Dominican Carnival is particularly famous for its vibrant costumes, elaborate masks, and lively street parties. It's a time when the entire country comes together to celebrate with music, dance, and laughter. There's so much more to explore and appreciate about the Dominican Republic's history and culture. It's a land of incredible natural beauty, rich traditions, and warm, welcoming people. We hope you enjoyed this journey through the Dominican Republic's past and present.
Awesome. Let me say this as I close out. I hope you enjoyed this morning's show. I hope you got to meet what I call is just one of the genuine, authentic, nicest persons that I met in José Vargas. Amazing basketball player, but what he's over in the Dominican Republic. He's trying to understand, how do you stop all the negative things that are happening over there, all the infighting, all those different things. He's going from place to place, man. I'm sure there's a lot of risk. I mean, he's got some military with him. He's trying to impact, that's his home, and he's trying to have an impact over there, right? And you could see he taught himself 7 languages, right, as he journeyed through basketball and how he used it as a tool. Sports, arts, entertainment is a tool, right? You're not going to do them forever, but there are tools that you could use not only to be blessed, but then to be a blessing to somebody else as well. I mean, keep him in your prayers, right? As he does his research, right? And he's going to be back over here in the New York area in the United States, and he's going to be talking to how do we encourage other Dominicans to get educated, to stay focused, right, and not get into this crazy world, this crazy negative world, But as I say in my book on broad is the road that leads to destruction and many find it. But narrow is the road that leads to life and only a few find it, right? And we have to help more people get on that narrow road to success, right? And become blessed so that they can be a blessing. So again, I hope you enjoyed the Blueprint podcast this morning. Tell a friend, take the link from Facebook and YouTube and share it with somebody about the Blueprint. We want to continue to keep bringing you, things that will help people get unstuck, right? Help people grow in their personal life, create a lifestyle that they're blessed and they want to help somebody else. And so, again, thank you for watching. Thank you for those who will watch in the future. And I say, have a wonderful, wonderful Resurrection Sunday, right, on tomorrow. Happy Easter. God bless you all. And remember this, I say it every week. If the Lord allow you to wake up tomorrow, make tomorrow your masterpiece. God bless you. And I will see you next week where my guest, right, my guest will be I'll have an amazing guest next week. And you make sure you guys tune in, right? Let me show you real quick before I jump off here. Let me show you my guest for next week. I got to show you my guest for next week because Jose was amazing today. Katrina Adams, right? She's in the whole tennis world, former professional tennis player. I mean, doing amazing speaker, right? Tune in next week. It's going to be great. Love you guys. God bless you. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Awesome. Let's see. I'm a one-man show today. So there you go. See you next week.
We really hope you enjoyed this episode of Lowe's More, the Blueprint Podcast. Stay connected and follow us at our website, www.lowesmore.com. That's LOWESMOORE.com. You can also join the discussion on Twitter at Lowe's More and on Facebook at Lowe's More Jr. As always, thank you for pushing your mindset towards a better reality. This concludes the most thought-provoking portion of your day. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this podcast to stay fully up to date with everything we're up to. Until next time, be kind to yourself and each other.
What they teaching is a joke. I ain't buying it like I'm broke. Insufficient funds for insignificant.